Hi guys, it's France. Welcome back for a new journal on Monday. This is week 105. I'm working on a Finnavar sheet of paper, which is from the Vintage Vanity collection by Prima. And I'm applying a heavy white gesso on part of the paper. It dries pretty fast, so I don't have to blow it too long with my heat gun. For the second layer, I'm using the clear crackle texture paste from Finnavar, and I'm applying it using a card. I'm applying it in a generous layer. I really want some thick crackling going on. And while it's drying, I'm stamping my brand new romantic text stamp using VersaFine ink on a scrap piece of paper. Then I'm distressing all the edges, and using the same VersaFine ink, I'm inking up the edges as well. I set it as a goal to use up all my scraps of paper, so this is one of the color bloom sprays from Prima, and I'm using it to add splatters on my piece of paper. And then using StazOn ink, I'm stamping my new postmark stamp on a photo of my grandparents. I'm distressing it, but very carefully. This is just thin photo paper, so I don't want to rip it all off. And then again, using the same ink for the edges. I decided to use this little ticket, so I gave it the same treatment as everything else. And then using my soft matte gel that I placed in this precision tip bottle, I'm gluing it down to the background paper. For my photo, I'm using double-sided tape because I don't want to have any chemical reaction between any glue for the photo. Then using color bloom sprays, I'm enhancing the texture that I have going on the background, and also making some drippage using water. Now the camera picks up a lot of the gesso and not much of the crackle texture, which in reality is quite reversed when you look at it. Adding a bit of a darker shade in color blooms and then heat setting it again. I picked up a couple of embellishments I want to use, and you will find all the details. If there's a brand related, you'll find all the details on my blog. The address to my blog is listed in the description of this video, as well as in the end title. I'm only gluing down the biggest tag in the bag, and then this piece of metal, and I'm only using the soft matte gel to do this. Then to make sure that that would stay in place, I did use a little bread through the paper, just to make sure everything would stay there. Today's Journal Monday turned out to be more of a scrapbook page than an art journal page. And I think that's because I'm trying to force myself to get back into scrapbooking and to step away from art journaling. So I'm a little in between everything at the moment. So I colorized my lace using Color Bloom, and I'm also doing the same with this leftover piece of plaster. I'm taking the back off of this button because I want to use it on my spread, and as it's metal, I'm filing it so that it's pretty neat on the back as well, so that I can glue it down. I need to reinforce my piece of plaster because I want to use it with a home rusted paper clip. And now I can distress the edges of the plaster. Everything is almost dry, so I can continue putting everything together. And then again, just gluing it down using the soft matte gel. This is a leftover piece of construction waste and I'm using these heavy duty scissors to cut a piece from it. And on another piece of scrap paper, again, I'm stamping my romantic text using VersaFine ink so that it matches the right side of my spread. Placing eyelets again using my big bites, and then again I can assemble everything. I wanted to add another piece of plaster strip, and as I have too much ink on my table, I'm using it to colorize a piece of cambric as well. Distressing the edges of the plaster strip using tweezers. And this is a Tim Holtz keyhole, which I rusted as well. When I choose my metal pieces, I'm mostly looking at the color of the rusting, because all these metals have a different reaction to the vinegar that I use to rust it. So some turn green, some turn brown. So I'm picking the pieces based on their color. And even this piece can be glued down just using soft matte gel, and I'm using a cloth spin to help the glue stick where it should stick. Using one of my other stamps, this is the Optique stamp. I'm stamping using archival ink. And like I said in a previous video, I dismount most of my design stamps so that I can use them without any sturdy surface on the back. As I did colorize some cambric, I might as well use it on my spread, so I'm adding little pieces here and there on top of the embellishments that I already chose. To make sure that my paper clip will stay in place, I apply some glue on the back of it, then place it where I want to have it, and then put it in place so that I have glue in between, sandwiched in between the photo and the paper clip, as well as on the back. And then just gluing the bottom down as well, but it won't stay there because I didn't like it in the end. Today's video is 15 minutes long, and it took me about an hour and 20 minutes to get it done. I was very lucky when I started to do this, because I decided to place 2 brads to keep the keyhole in place, and it just matched 2 holes in the metal plate that I already had on my paper. And I'm doing the same thing here, first gluing and then adding a little brad. now I can trim the excess away to have a neat edge on my spread. Adding some more VersaFine ink all around the edges. And on one side I did feel like adding some sewing, and on the other hand I didn't feel like putting up a fight with my sewing machine, so I left it just like this and I didn't add the sewing around the edges. I need to clean the needle and part of the mechanism. Using Color Bloom as an ink, just to add a very soft hint of color all around, and then using other colors of the Color Bloom to add splatters. And this is where I wanted to go too fast, because I should have used a clean piece of cloth to dab the excess ink. This is where I'm trying to fix it, but it's not fixable, so I'll have to put something on top of it. Using a big attacher, and then adding a 7 Dot Studio sticker for my wording. So to cover up the not so graceful splatters, I'm using an extra little tag. I'm using soft matte gel and glass beads to add very tiny little accents. So I'm just placing dots of glue on which I'm gluing a little glass bead. I really like the soft embellishment it adds while it's quite dimensional, because the glass beads are not flat. And as it's quite fun to do, I'm taking my time to add a lot of them. So I took the button away, and then I decided to replace it with some glass glitter, just to have something that pops a bit more. Taking the excess away. And then I decided to add some soft touches of masking tape. It's actually pink. And I'm going in using a charcoal pencil to add some darker shading to the crackle texture. So first I'm using a blending stump to blend it in, and as it was looking a little too harsh to my liking, I went in with a kneadable eraser just to blend it in even more. And as I wanted to add some touches of color, but in a very soft and light way, I'm using an Inktense pencil, which is water soluble. Just like I did with the charcoal, I'm going around the elements, and then using water brush, I'm blending it in. And to blend it in even more, I'm using the lightest Color Bloom that I have. Just like I did with the water brush, except that this time I'm blending it using a very soft color. That's it for today. I hope you liked today's video. If so, don't forget to hit the like button. It's very much appreciated. Thank you for all the new subscribers to my channel. We're getting close to 10,000, getting ready to celebrate. Thank you so much for being out there, and see you back next time. Ta-da!